Hey y'all, after I posted that video of my husband and his mistress in the Atlanta airport,
Well, before she posted that picture, she forgot to tell us that she was the first
and I decided
mistress,
to
right?
share my story with you
Right.
all, when I say that you all have shown an outpouring of love, support, kind words, prayers, just everything. And I just want to say how grateful I am.
So most of you guys have saw the video with her and Candy Burris, and there was some rumors about her trying to get on Housewives of Atlanta, which we all know that that show was in trouble, and I think they're talking about recasting. But whether or not she knows Candy or knew Candy before this, we don't know. I honestly don't think so by the commentary that's going on. Candy was saying that her daughters told her about Gail, and it seemed like she kind of tried to blend it into, oh, it was my homegirl, that sounded familiar, that sort of a thing. So I do think that she's trying to get on the show, which I don't really got nothing negative to say about that. But at the same time, this woman probably should have thought a little bit harder about posting this story when she knew the whole time that she started out her relationship with the man in the same way. I know another guy said that she was a former policewoman and, some other stuff. But, I mean, at the same time, Gail, honey, if you got him the same way that his new girl got him, then it's even, right? I mean, right?
Story time. So yesterday, I was with my daughters, Riley and Kayla, and they was like, "Did you see that story going viral on TikTok about the lady who caught her husband at the airport?" I said, "That sounds familiar, but I don't know." No, why I didn't know my homegirl had got on live and told her story, and now it's viral. It's life, y'all. Hey, it's life. So, you gotta keep living. You gotta keep living. So it's life. I'm gonna have to get you on speak on it now. How are you doing though? Tell the people currently, how are you? I'm good. I'm getting stronger every day. It's been tough. No one ever wants to go through this, but I've had a lot of support and from my family, from my friends, and like I said from the very beginning, it's not something that I'm really comfortable sharing. But I just don't think when women or whoever's ever been done wrong, that you have to be the one going hot on the rock, that you have to be ashamed of something or make you feel like being embarrassed. Why do I have to go and hide? And I think I should be able to speak my truth. They're doing their thing. I should be doing mine too. Okay, let me ask you this: as your husband, did he call you after you went by? Because I know everybody been hitting him. Everybody's asking me that. No, he didn't call me all the time. Really? Yeah, why would he call me now? He didn't say anything? He said, what are you talking about? Well, I know her page is private from what the people say. She done went private. Well, you were out in public. Why you going private now? You were public before. I saw you at the airport with you. You've been posting pictures on Instagram and talking shit to me for months. Give me some messages. Now, why are you private now? Because if you calling me the liar, said I had done something wrong, and I was the wife. You out doing your thing. You can't call me a liar, girl. Why you private now? You don't have to go private if there's nothing wrong. If you're living right, you're doing right. Don't do that. All right, well, anyway, it just cracked me up because my daughters just asked me about you yesterday, and here you are today. So I said, I got it.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna address this part about the start of my relationship with my husband, and I'm gonna be done. And you can say what you want to say, do what you want to do. I mean, it is what it is, and that was almost 30 years ago. But when I was introduced to him, I was told he was not married. Only to find out later that he was. So I told him then that I did not deal with married men and that I didn't want to do anything to some other woman that I didn't want done to me. And I meant that, and I still hold to that. So, of course, he gave me the stand that, we've been having problems and all that kind of stuff. And whenever I would talk to him, I would tell him, he would try to be hitting on me, but I would knock it right down because I wasn't attracted to him. My husband was overweight, morbidly obese, actually. But he was a nice guy. But when I would talk to him, I would encourage him to stay with his wife and kids. And I thought he thought that was the oddest thing, but that's what I would do. I would encourage him because I didn't like him like that. And I was like, you're married, so this ain't going anywhere anyway. So he kept asking me, like, like, what if I was divorced? Is she and I having problems and all that? And I was like, well, if that's the case, you need to get your problem handled. I said, I can't even think about ever even dating you or doing any of that because you're still married. So lo and behold, he tells me that he's going to divorce her. He started his process, and that, he wanted me to be his girl and all that kind of stuff. Actually gave me some diamond earrings to let me know. He was like, this is to let you know that I'm super duper serious about this thing. So I was like, well, okay then, because during this whole time, we had no intimate relationship or any of that for like 3 months. Because actually, I was calling him Al Bundy, and he didn't even know why I was calling him that. Because he was like, why you always call me Al Bundy? And I was like, because you're married with children, and I don't mess with Al Bundys or whatever, right? So once he started his divorce proceedings, he asked me would I date him. So I did. So there may be some fault there where I started dating him before his actual divorce was final, but I made sure that he had filed divorce because that's what he told me. So we did take a trip to the Essence Music Festival the first year, and a phone call came in, and I'm assuming that it was his wife, but the way he responded to the call let me know that, basically something was up and that he probably had lied to me. So when we get off the phone, I was like, I thought you filed for divorce. Like, why was that conversation going that way? He didn't really have too much to say. But he was like, well, no, I talked about it, but I was going to file. I'm still doing some reach out and filing when I get back and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, I was furious because I was like, you've lied to me. Like, why would you, tell a lie like that? The only reason I came with you on this trip was because you told me you had filed and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking everything kosher with them, and that I didn't have anything to do with that. Because he told me in the beginning, like, no, she and I having issues. And if I file for divorce, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. So I was like, well, okay, then. So, like I said, I wasn't attracted to him at first. But he was a really nice guy, really nice guy. He's a professional guy, was president of a company and all that kind of stuff. But I had my own thing. I was working. I was a single mom doing my own little thing. So I didn't really need him for anything. But the only thing that I'll say about that was, I did start dating him after he filed for divorce. And I think from the time I met him to the time he divorced was like a 10-month span. So those first 3 months, I didn't say anything to him, like romantically, because I was not attracted to him. And that is for real. If you see the picture of him before, you'll know why, but he was a nice guy. So I'm just saying. I'll say that, maybe me dating him before the divorce was final was wrong. And I'll take accountability for that. But I can't go back, 30 years now and correct that. I'm just trying to move forward and do what's right. But, Miss Thang is trying to like paint this narrative like, oh, she was doing the same thing. Not the same thing at all. Because my whole time I was encouraging him to stay with his people. She did not. I have the text messages between them from the day they met to, all the things that he was telling her, the things she was telling him, and telling him that she didn't have anything and that she left her family with just the clothes on her back, and, just this little sob story for him. So I guess he went with it. But like I said, y'all, this was originally about me posting a video of me seeing them for the first time in the airport. So I ain't judging her. I ain't gonna judge him. Like I said, I'm not, but it ain't like I willfully went out and decided like I'm gonna go and destroy his family. It was nothing like that. So a lot of us were deceived. A whole bunch of us were deceived. So that is what he has done. That's what he continues to do. So, I'm gonna let it be what it is. And like I said, once we get further down the road in this process, I can share some things. I don't know how to share the receipts on here. I thought you could only do videos. So anybody that knows how you can post pictures and all of that of the text messages, I'll show you that I ain't got no lie to tell. And the whole time, I never talked to my husband's former wife. Only conversation we ever had was when she would bring the kids over and stuff like that. But she never said anything to me about me being the cause. But I did find this out, that after she found out that he and I was breaking up, she told someone that she was like, oh, she finally found out after all these years. Like she finally found out who he really is. Because I think I mentioned in an earlier video about him telling me about how she was not having any kind of intimate relationship with him. And he thought it was because she was depressed and, had some postpartum and all of that. Turns out, word got back to me, she was like, I wasn't depressed or I didn't have postpartum either. It was because I was tired of being in the doctor's office because he kept giving me stuff. So, I'm going to just leave it there, guys. And like I said, once all this is over, I'll come back and give you plenty of details. So old girl can keep telling all the stories she wants, but, they hanging, they doing their thing. I just got a message from a woman this morning who saw them out in Dallas last night at True Lux and said, old girl got pregnant by her husband some years ago while she lived in California. So she was like, she's all about the money. So, and she is. And I'm telling you, y'all, I've lived a privileged life, but I've earned everything I've got here in this household. When he was sick, when he was doing all his other stuff, when he had to get shit wiped off of him, she wasn't here. I was wiping shit, cleaning up vomit, and all the things that a wife would do. So for better or worse, I stuck in between all of that. So like I said, I'm going to end this right here. You can say what you want, judge how you want, but it's all good. I'm going to be good in the end. I was just sharing and hoping that my story would empower someone else to not be embarrassed, to stand up on your own, but it is what it is, and I'm living for today. Hope y'all have a good one.
So this is another video that people have posted that she posted and for whatever reason deleted, and she went into more detail about the first wife situation, and she called this part 8. So this was her video, and she was talking about how he was married when he first got with her.
Okay. All right. So so that's what I'm just here to let you all know that, I started seeing him before the divorce was final, but at no time did I go in, try to destroy his marriage to any of that. And actually, before we started kicking it like that, I was encouraging him to try to work it out with his wife. This is my last video for today. no one likes being called a liar, and particularly me. So I have not lied to you all. I have no reason to deceive you. Like I said, I didn't know the situation, the whole situation with he and his former wife, but I'm sure she probably went through the same thing I went through, but she never let me know that, and I only could go by the stories that he was telling me about them having issues and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure they did because, based on her saying why she wouldn't sleep with him. But, in all fairness and honesty to me, everybody who knew me back then and knew us, during that time, they knew the story. He would tell them how hard I was. He was like, she was the meanest girl I've ever met. Because he was like, for the first 3 months, you couldn't even get a kiss from her. And he tells that story, and I'm sure it's on video from one of my birthday parties. So he knew who I was and how I was from the very beginning. So all this narrative they're trying to paint now, like, it wasn't like that at all. So, and I do have folks who will say that's exactly how it was. She told us she was not attracted to him, and not just because he was overweight. It just wasn't attracted to him, period. And he had a great job and all that. I was not attracted to him, and that didn't faze me because I was like, I just was not. And as I got to know him, I was like, okay, he's a nice guy. So I didn't use his size and the way he looked or anything like that against him. So I just thought he was a really sweet guy. But, y'all also ought to know that old girl is lying. And this ain't really about her, that she's lying, because can't nobody just walk up in the Delta Sky Club. Can't nobody just walk up on a plane, So that's just some, bullshit she putting out there. And she also told you all about the Europe thing. Remember I was telling y'all the story about when the day I found out everything, that he was coming from a business trip. It actually wasn't a business trip. It was him coming back from her birthday trip from Europe. I think they went to Paris, to Amsterdam, Tuscany, and somewhere else. But he told me that he was on a business trip, and I have all the text messages to prove it. And I wish I knew how to upload some of this shit on here as the pictures, because I got proof. And I got proof, too, that she knew that he was married and how she encouraged him to leave. But I might need them for court, y'all. But anything that I think I don't need for court, I'll post it because I don't have any reason to lie. So I'm just letting y'all know, So if I owe anybody an apology, it might be his former wife, but that was, I would owe it. I don't mind, giving her an apology, but that was based on the lies that he told me. I'm not saying that he has not told this girl the same lies, but I'm going to be accountable for my stuff. She not trying to be accountable for any of hers, but I'm just going to keep it 100 with you, y'all. So, like I said, this is the last one, but I want to be clear with y'all. If y'all got any questions for me, hit me up in my mailbox, and if I can hit you back, I will. Y'all have a good day. Thanks.
So she also posted this video to prove that she was not coming in there yelling and cussing at nobody, as someone had said.
Good morning, Harold. How are you? Good to see you. Hope you have a good flight. I'll see you on the flight.
So what do y'all think about all this? Leave your thoughts and comments below.